So as you can see here, so this module is related to teaching with ICT. No, it's in Spanish, as you know, is the famous term TIC. No, the famous TIC, TICs. So in English, so we call this ICT. All right. So here today we're going to talk about these two terms, the ICT and e-learning. All right. So what is the connection between the ICT and e-learning? No? Remember, the ICT is a term related to technology, right? Technology and communication. So today we're going to analyze some aspects related to technology and communication in teaching languages, and also the term referring to e-learning. No? This is electronic learning. No? So here we have this kind of new learning that we have nowadays. No? So let's start. Technology in language teaching. As you know, technology is not just used from these days. No? As you know, technology has been used in language teaching for decades, and also some people say for centuries. Can you tell me, how do we use technology in teaching in the past, from the 80s or 90s? No, because some people says that technology is used in teaching just on this decade, no? 90s or 2000, 2010, but it was used before these decades, no? From the 80s, 70s. So can you tell me, how do we use technology in the past in teaching? No, we are talking about teaching languages, no, specifically. Can you tell me? Can you tell me? No ideas? Yeah, books, textbooks, refer to textbooks. Giordano, yes, Giordano? Or no? Giordano, yes? With printed books. Yeah, what else? No more ideas? Aha, Fiorella says radio, CDs. Yeah, you're right. Also, some people consider the blackboard, no? Or the green board in some cases. Blackboard is part of technology, no? Yeah, you're right. So notice that we use technology in teaching from the 70s, 80s, not just nowadays, no? Nowadays, we're using a new development of technology. But as you could see, we use technology, no? So as you told me, or you wrote it in the chat, we use the recorders, language laboratories, and videos have been in use since the 1960 and 1970. Notice, so we use technology in teaching using this kind of technology, no? The radio, tape recorders, CDs, the laboratories, no, language laboratories, and videos. So we use technology, notice, from the 60s and 70s. From the 60s or 70s, we started with this kind of technology. I don't know if you have seen it before, you have heard it before. That is the famous call. It doesn't mean that you're going to talk with somebody else. No. Call means the computer-assisted language learning. This is the beginning. No, this is the beginning of using technology in class. Here, more advanced technology, obviously, no, apart from the radio, tape recorders, and CDs, and so on. No, as you could see here, we use the term computer. So we started using, in order to learn and teach language, specifically on learning a language, we use computers. So we call this approach computer-assisted language learning, the famous CALL. Then we have another term related to this that nowadays we use it a lot, no? That is the information and communication technology, the famous ICT. As I told you, in Spanish, the famous TIC. No? So in English is the ICT, information and communication technology. And then notice we have another term related to this, that is technology enhanced language learning, or TEL. Let's see each of them. Yeah, what do they refer to? Okay, so remember we have three: computer assisted language learning, information and communication technology, the ICT, and technology enhanced language learning. Let's see what they mean. Let's start talking about the computer assisted language learning, CALL. So this approach appeared in the earliest 1980s, some mistake, 1980s. So with the appearance of computers, the appearance of computers. So we start using computers to learn and teach languages. So this approach requires learners to respond to stimuli on the computer screen. So our students or the learners respond to stimuli on the computer screen. And it also requires learners to carry out tasks such as filling in gap tests, matching sentences halves, and multiple choice activities. Notice the kind of activities and tasks that the students did with this kind of approach, the famous CALL. So they start filling some gaps in text, or matching sentences halves, and multiple choice activities. Another activity that was well known was the test reconstruction. So that they were given a test in this order, and they have to reconstruct the test. And all of these activities offers the learners feedback. So they have the opportunity to check their answers, because they used computers from the 80s. For example, I remember, well, not exactly from the 80s, but from the 90s, I remember that when I was studying English, there was a lot of kind of software or programs that you could install on your PCs and you can practice English. There were a lot, and they were self-instructed, self-instructed programs. And I remember too, because I could get one of these softwares or programs and I could install it on a PC. And yes, the kind of activities or tasks that you were required to complete was like this. Yes, I need to complete some spaces, reorder sentences, or match sentences, or reconstruct some tests or sentences. So I developed these kind of sentences using this software, and I could watch it on the screen on my computer, right? So I was developing this approach, the computer-assisted language learning. So I remember that I also could check my answers immediately. Oh, this is not correct, or it's correct. So I receive a feedback. All right, I receive a feedback. So notice, from that age, so we use computers. Let's pass to this term, information and communication technology. So what are we going to use apart from computers? So because we're still using computers, then appear this marvelous tool that is the internet, The use of internet. Now we use a lot the internet and some web-based tools that internet offers, the World Wide Web. So here, that's why we call this the information and communication technology. And the other one is technology enhanced language learning, or TEL. So it refers to the use of growing possibilities of internet and communication technology. So nowadays we have the opportunity to not just study for ourselves, For example, in the call, it was just for yourself. No, you are in front of the computer, you develop the task, or you complete the task, but you're doing by your own. With the appearance of the internet, so you could use it, no, by searching some web pages to help you, and also to look for some pages to help you practice the language. But then we have another opportunity to share, no? To share, to collaborate with other people. Also, you could practice with other people too, not just you, no? And also you could create something on the internet, and other person could see it, and maybe this person use your creation and recreate another part. Notice the learning and teaching is changing with the use of technology, no? With a new development, new tools that you could find on the internet or the web-based tools, so you can increase, no, the opportunity to learn and teach are here now, no? So notice here the difference, no? From the past, remember, we used technology from the past, from the 80s, and before too, 60s, 70s, with the use of radio or blackboards or tape recorders. So we have been using technology when we teach and learn also, no, a language, no? So notice these three terms, the computer-assisted language learning, information and communication technology, and technology-enhanced language learning. For example, in technology-enhanced language learning, here we have platforms, no? We have platforms, for example, this video conference platform. So we have the opportunity to have classes online, notice. But at the beginning, the first part of the internet, no, we couldn't have the opportunity to have these online classes. No, we have internet, but we couldn't have the opportunity to have classes online. But now, with the new developments of technology, now we have the opportunity to have classes online using platforms. Also, we have learning system platforms, no? For example, Moodle, Edmodo, or Blackboard. So we have different language management learning system, no? The famous LMS. So we have the opportunity also not just to have classes, also to receive materials, videos, and tasks. We develop tasks. So notice, with the new developments and advances of technology, we are increasing our possibilities to learn and also to teach, no, a language. That's why here says technology enhanced language learning. Now, let's continue talking about technology. So we are going to analyze this term, ICT. Information, remember, I is information. So it's referring to different devices that we could use to get, to analyze, to decodify, to transmit. No, it's related to communication. In the first part, for example, we have also a DVD player, television, the internet, the radio, calculator. In communication, different ways to transmit, no? To transmit contents, messages. We have the email. Well, in the past, we have the fax or telephone, mobile phone, webcam, instant messaging. No, nowadays we're using the chat groups. No? In technology, we have different devices, no? Digital camera, laptop, games console, MP3 players or iPad, robots, roamers. So notice here these three terms. No, when we talk about the ICT, we refer to these three terms: information, communication, and technology. So we're going to use a lot of devices to get, to analyze, to transmit information, all right? Using different devices, no? Such as a laptop, mobile phone, video, the webcam. Nowadays, we have inserted the webcams in laptops and PCs. No, we use the internet. No, notice, all of this is referred to ICT, no? The information and communication and technology. Now, why ICT is needed? Why ICT is important nowadays? Could you give me some ideas? All right, Lucy. Yes, yes. The technology existed, but was not as well as known and used. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay, Lucy. Yeah. Now, tell me, please. Tell me. Maybe you can talk, or maybe you can write it on the chat. Why ICT is needed? Why is it important nowadays? Huh? Tell me your ideas. Why is it needed? Do we need ICT to teach and to learn a language? What do you think? Aha, Fiorella says
The,
something important, to be more connected with our students. Yes, that's it. That's good, Fiorella. Another one, another one.
teacher, it's important to interact with another persons and also to send information, and now it's very important for the education.
Yes, that's right. Very good, Lucy. Excellent. Flor says to improve learning. Yeah, not just for teaching, huh? For learning too. Yes, it's so important to our students nowadays. Huh? All right, all right. Tell me more. Tell me more. Any other idea why ICT is needed in the contents of teaching a language, and learning a language? Ruth says, it is important because it facilitates almost all tasks. Yes, we can develop a lot of activities, yeah, in an interactive way or easy to manage. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so let's see. Your ideas were excellent. Some of them you're gonna see it here. All right, so notice here. Why ICT is needed? One of the reasons that nowadays it's getting to be a normal part of teaching a language. And a lot of teachers, most of the teachers nowadays, and especially with this situation of pandemic, no, so we were forced we were forced because some of us maybe we're afraid of using technology, or maybe the contents that you were teaching was not available to use technology to, no, because we are in Peru. There are a lot of parts in Peru, regions in Peru, that we don't have this kind of opportunity, right? But nowadays we have to, no, we must learn how to use ICT when we teach. That's why it's getting to be a normal part of English language teaching, no, practice lately. This is one of the reasons. No? Cindy wrote something in the chat. It helps teachers to develop the class, making interactive class, use different tools. Excellent, Cindy. Very good, very good. Another reason is technology is a way to bring outside work into the classroom, no? Because you can connect, as Lucy says, we can connect to other people, no? So you are bringing your class outside, no? You bring outside world into the classroom. Internet presents us with new opportunities for authentic tasks, as Cindy and Ruth says, no, for authentic tasks and materials, as well as access to a wealth of ready-made ELT materials. Notice on internet, and I show you, no, when we talked about listening, speaking, reading, writing, so I'll show you a lot of pages to find materials to teach, no? To teach listening, to teach grammar, to teach pronunciation, to teach reading, writing, speaking. So we could find a lot of activities, authentic tasks and materials, and ready-made ELT materials. So you don't need to prepare it. but don't forget it. Don't forget it. You have to check the material if it is appropriate and adequate for your students. No, if not, you have to adequate it, no, adapt it, no, adapt it. But it is done, so you can gain time. No, you have more time because when you prepare your own materials, so you need more time. So it's time consuming. But on the internet, you can find ready-made ALT materials. So no so time consuming. No? So this is very important. No? On the internet, you can find a lot of materials, all right? A lot of material, interrupted, to printed, everything. Let's continue talking about why ICT is needed. This is another topic that you told me, no? Collaboration and communication between learners is offered by internet, and not just to learners, also with a teacher too, no? Using this kind of platforms or using the LMS as a Moodle or Edmodo or Google Classroom, so you can communicate with your students or student or teacher student, no? And also with the parents too, no? Notice we had the opportunity to communicate with the parents using this kind of tools. No, no, you don't need to call him or call her. No, the father, mother. No, you just send a message on the platform and they receive. Oh yeah, your kid didn't develop task one, the listening, and the parents can see. No, for example, my kid, my daughter has this platform Edmodo in the school. And I received the messages, no, because I assigning her using my email. So I receive all the messages, if she completed, if she did it well, the score, everything. So the teacher sends a message, you know, and the score received the score. So the communication using these tools is so fast. No, you don't need to go to the school. No, in the past, the father or mother need to go to school to ask the teacher, oh, so my kid, my daughter, my son, how is it going? No, now using the platforms, you can communicate with the teachers, parents, students. So it's so incredible. Another reason that ICT is needed is that you can practice, notice, you can practice the 4 skills thanks to using IC tools. No? And I show you, no? I show you in the previous modules, I show you that you can practice the 4 skills, not just the 4 skills, grammar, pronunciation, syntax, everything you want, no? To improve, as one of you told me, no? You can improve your learning, all right? You can improve your learning. Another reason is the language. As you know, English is a worldwide language. It's an international language. So it's being used in technologically mediated context. As English is an international language, that's the reason that it's used in technologically mediated context. No, we use in platforms or using web pages. So everything, no, related to this technological context. Or the famous, for example, I like to take courses on the internet, online, no? The famous MOOCs. I don't know if you have heard about it. The famous MOOCs. Another reason, technology is offered with published materials such as course books and resource books for teachers. For example, this is so incredible. 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I used to carry my teacher's book, no, you know it. When you use a book, you receive the teacher's book, the resource book. So I need to carry with my teacher's books. No, I need to carry the course book too, or the workbook. But now it's not necessary because all of these books are online and you have the opportunity to check it. And also nowadays the books are interactive. You install it in your computer or laptop and you can show to your students on the screen, no? And in an interactive way. So you don't need to carry books nowadays. And if you use published materials, so you have the opportunity to have these online tools, no? Online books. So nowadays you can share it. And also now in software, because 2, 3, yeah, 4 years ago, I used to have a CD, you use the CD to install into your PC. Nowadays, these publishing books, they have on internet, online. So you just sign in and you have the book. You don't need to install it into your computer. No, nowadays it's not necessary to install it because you find the book on the internet. Notice how is it changing? No? How is it changing? Another reason, learners increasingly expect language schools to integrate technology into teaching. No? As you know, our students nowadays are more involved of using technology. No? They expect that in the school they could find this kind of technology too. No? Technology offers new ways for practicing language and assessing performance. No, also you can receive a feedback. And using the LMS, the learning management system, so you can receive also feedback. No, for example, in Moodle, when we are going to talk about Moodle, I'm going to show you how to give feedback to the task that you give to your students. No? So you have the feedback. Also, you can correct the pages on the same platform. So notice you have this kind of opportunity. No? And the last one, technology is becoming increasingly mobile. So it's not necessary to be in a classroom. You can do these kind of activities, practicing, doing a homework or a task, or maybe reading a book or listening something outside, in the street, at home, when you are traveling, in the car. For example, when I use the Google Classroom, I remember you can install into your cell phone the app, the app of Google Classroom. So when I need to travel to teach to a different place from my home, so I try to check up the task in my cell phone, because you have the opportunity to check up the task in your cell phone if you have the app. So when I arrive home, so I have to check just a few tasks. So notice you can do this outside, not just in the classroom. So notice that technology provides not just for students, for teachers to know the opportunity to do this everywhere, everywhere. When you're traveling, when you're driving, or when not exactly you driving in a bus, or maybe in the park, or maybe at home. So notice that's why here says that this is mobile, it's not fixed. Okay, so notice here the different reasons, the different reasons why ICT is needed nowadays. We need to manage these ICT tools as a teachers. Now, what is the attitudes to technology? Here you have some terms. I don't know if you have seen it or you have heard it. I think one of them we have heard a lot, the digital native. So what are we gonna do here? I'm gonna give you 1-2 minutes to match. You have to match because the definitions are in disorder. Yeah. So here we have 4 terms related to the attitudes to how do you feel about technology? One of these is technophobia, technogeeks, digital native, and digital immigrants. So 2 minutes to match, and then you have to tell me that 2 minutes. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Any volunteer to tell me the definition of technophobia? I think it's easy. No, 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 nobody, nobody, nobody. Technophobia. No, no, no volunteers, no volunteers, victims. Please don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Technophobia. Phobia. Remember this term, phobia. All right.
Could be a person who is afraid, or maybe a person who dislike technology.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah. So what
hobby,
would it be?
like
All
a
right. Yes,
phobia.
you're right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. So yeah, Fiorella. All right, Fiorella. Someone who is afraid of new technology. So according to this, the definition is those of us who might be wary of the new technological development. Wary, remember, be wary is to be afraid, to be scared, no? You're nervous, no, you're nervous, no, 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 this is not for me. No, 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 it's so new. Oh, it has a lot of devices too. So this is a technophobic person, no? So you are afraid, as you told me, no? Wary, remember, be wary is similar to be so afraid, no? Nervous. Okay, so those of us who might be wary of the new technological developments. What about the second one? Technogeeks. Technogeeks.
Is a term for a technology enthusiast.
Yeah. A term for a technology enthusiast. So it's a person who likes to learn, no? Who likes learning new tools, no? New technologies. This is a technology. All right. The third term, I'm sure that you hear it a lot, no? You hear it a lot, and also the fourth term, the digital native.
Someone who grows up using technology and who does feel comfortable and confident with it.
Yes, you are right. Someone who grows up using technology and who does feels comfortable and confident with it. No? This is a digital native. And the last one, obviously, is a person or someone who have come late to the world of technology. All right? So notice, these are the different terms, no, that refers to attitudes to technology. Which of these are related to you? Are you technophobic? Are you technogeek? Are you digital native, or are you digital immigrants? Are you afraid of technology, or are you keen on technology? Or are you interested in technology? So who do you consider yourself? Aha, Flor says technology. Excellent, very good. So enthusiast for technology. You are not afraid of technology. All right, you want to learn more and more and more. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Flor. Anybody else? Anybody else? I consider myself a technologic and also digital immigrant because I didn't grow up using this kind of technology. No, for example, I remember that the first time that I used a computer was when I entered the university. Imagine it. When I entered the university, it's the first time that I used a computer. So I started using this kind of technology. Maybe some of you started later, no? So we consider a digital immigrant. But our, for example, our kids, no, young people, children, they are considered to be a digital native, no, because they are growing up with this, no, with this environment, using technology a lot. For example, I'm so surprised with my little kid. He is 5 years old and he used my cell phone better than me. Better than me. So imagine that. So he started using. So how did you do that? And then, daddy, this is the way. He showed me how to use my cell phone. Imagine that. All right. Okay. So notice this kind of attitudes, no? So try to be technologic, no? Enthusiastic for learning technology. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Try to use it. Try to use it. And the most important is to practice a lot. No? To practice using these tools, using these devices, and you could get it. All right? You could get it. Okay. So let's continue here. Now we are going to talk about implementing ICT in the classroom. How can we use or implement ICT in our classroom when we teach? Let's see some ideas. Remember, these are some ideas how to use it in different contexts, in different environments. So here we have this. How can I use ICT with my class if there is only one computer in the school? Or maybe in the class, no? Not all of my students have it, or I have just one computer in the school. And it happens a lot in our country, no? So there are some schools that we don't have computers, just 1, 2, or 3, no more. There are other schools that also have a laboratory, no? So yeah, they have a lot of opportunities to use it. But what happened in my school doesn't have this kind of computers, to use the internet or web pages. So it means that I'm not going to use it. Notice here some ideas. You can use websites before classes, before classes. And also you can use the internet-based project work, especially Webquest offline. Notice you can use it offline. So you don't need internet. You could just email keep all projects using the teacher's email account. So maybe you can create another email, maybe not your personal, maybe not your personal, maybe you can create another account and you could use this account, in order to make an email keep all projects, So you can do that, You can connect with your students, you give the code, and so on, and you can communicate it. So notice the ideas, the ideas if you have just one computer in the school. Also, you can give them printed materials, printed materials using the photocopies, But you use it before, You use it before, and then you can use it in your classroom, Here you have other ideas. A class block with learners preparing their contributions on paper and the teacher typing them into the computer. If they have just one computer, only to show it in the class. So you can ask your students to give you ideas, to give you their contributions, and you start typing into the computer and you can create a class block, a class block. Another one is using online reference tools, Online reference tools such as concordances on papers. So you use different online reference tools and you can use as concordances on papers. Then electronically produce materials printed out for learners or to use them online. Maybe when they are at home, So you give the opportunity using the link, and they can use it at home. Or you can print it, You can print it. All the materials that you could find on the internet, you can print it. This is the most common use when we don't have the opportunity to have computers for all the students. Oh. Can you listen to me? Can you watch what I'm sharing? Because I receive a message of my connection. That is not good. Yes, yes. Can you listen to me? Yes, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Very
Okay, okay,
clear.
okay, okay. Yeah, all right, all right. No, because I just received a message saying that my connection is not good. Yeah. All right. Please tell me. Don't forget to tell me if you cannot watch me or you cannot listen to me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Let's continue. Let's pass to another. What can I do if my learners have very low information technology experience and skills? No? Because sometimes our students don't have these kind of skills or competencies. No? They don't have this, or they have a very low information technology skills. Sometimes, no, sometimes we think that, oh yeah, but they are in this kind of environment, they know how to use it, but sometimes this is not true. All of our students don't have the same level of management of these skills, no? For example, some students use these kind of tools just for entertainment, not for learning or for teaching or for practicing, not just for learning. And when you send some tasks to develop for learning or to practice, they don't know what to do. So all of our students don't have that same level of experience or skills. No. So what do we have to do or what we can do? Find out about your learners' IT skills and degrees of experience. No, maybe at the beginning of the class or at the beginning of the year, so you can ask them, no, what kind of tools they could manage so they know how to use it, or maybe a survey, and then you can see the results and analyze, and maybe you can give them an extra class, in order to teach them how to use different tools. It's very important. Another one, start off by using the simple technologies in the classroom. Basic email or searching the internet can be introduced. This is very important. Try to pair up more technically experienced learners with absolute novice. So you know that, no? When we could identify some students who know more, so we divide the class using leaders, no? Yeah, you are going to help your partner, you help your partners. So we have to do the same if they don't manage the ICT skills or experience. Another one, 3. You, now not just the students, no, you working on to use ICT in the classroom, but don't know where to start. What could I try first? So sometimes you don't know. So I use this, I use this, I use this. I don't know what to use, no? So how could you start? Start with simple tools and projects in class, such as using websites or using ready-made materials for language learners. No? So this is the beginning. So you can search for some materials in order to use it in class, or using some web pages or websites, to give your students to practice the language. So this is the beginning. This is the starting point. You might also want to start using chat or email with your learners simply for receiving and marking work, or for simple collaborative writing projects. Notice we have this famous WhatsApp, no? So we could use it to, to give some tasks or to give a feedback, or maybe to collaborate with students. So nowadays it's very common, no? It's very common. For example, when I teach in the university, my delegate, create a chat group, for the course. And here I give you some points to remember, some instructions or some materials too. Maybe some of them tell me, teacher, I cannot enter to the platform. I don't have internet connection. I can download the material. Yeah, so I send it to the chat, not to the WhatsApp. Teacher, I couldn't enter to the exam online. All right, yeah. So I change and then we can use it in the WhatsApp too. And notice here we could use that. Another thing that maybe we have, no? I don't have much time for material preparation, because when you prepare your materials, it's time consuming, no? And also on the internet, for example, when I prepare some content to my students to make it online, no? For example, I use some platforms, no? Let's say Educa Play, or maybe on the this Edpuzzle, no? So I try to prepare some video quizzes, so it's time consuming, no? So what happens? You don't have much time for this kind of preparation. So the internet has a wealth of ready-made materials available. You simply need to know how to find them. Look for ready-made materials to use with your classes, such as Webquest or technology-based courseware, or use simple tools that need little or no preparation, such as email or chat. So notice, and I show you, I show you on the previous session that you had the opportunity to find a lot of materials, ready-made materials. I don't know if I have give you the page Busy Teacher. Have you heard about this page, Busy Teacher? Because as the name says all, no? If you are so busy, you don't have time to prepare your materials, no? Maybe you have to teach 1, 2, 3 places. For example, I teach in 3, 4 places sometimes. So sometimes I don't have enough time to prepare. So I try to find some resources, no? On the internet. So here you have this, no? You have the opportunity to find, no? I'm gonna write it here in the chat. The webpage is Busy Teacher. I don't know, you could check it. Busy Teacher, this is the page. And here you have a lot of material. The another one is ILC Collective. No, this is the other one, ISL Collective. So we have a lot, we have a lot. And we are going to, when we talked about the materials, how to prepare materials, so I'm gonna show you these pages again. Now, so we have analyzed the ICT, the ICT. Now we are going to pass to the e-learning. What is e-learning? Please tell me your ideas. Tell me what you know, what you have in your mind. E-learning. What is it? E-learning. No, nobody.
Teacher is a platform.
A platform? No. Yeah. A platform is part of it, no? It's not all. Using platform is part of e-learning. But what is it? What is e-learning? Aha, Flor says electronic learning. Yes, you're right. What is it involved in electronic learning?
We use the technology to teach and to learn.
Yeah, you're right. Any other idea? No more. E-learning. Similar to the word email, no? Email. What is an email? And you use it a lot, no? Hotmail, Google, Yahoo, and so on. Email. Electronic mail. Yes, I know that is electronic mail. But what is it involving electronic mail? What's the difference with the past email? Aha, Ruth says, and Elia, no? Elia says, learning through virtual system. All right. Ruth says, is when you use electronic devices to teach and learn. Yes. And notice that it's not important the place you are, no, where you are. So you can teach and learn from distance, as we are doing now. Notice, this is considered an e-learning, an e-teaching, we could consider that, all right? We are not physically close, right? I'm in Lima, you are in Cusco. Notice this is similar to the email, no? You can send email, you are in Lima and from Cusco and you send email. In seconds, you receive the email. Similar to here, no? You are listening to me as we were in a class, no? We were in the same room. Notice. Aha, all right. Similar to online learning. Then we're going to talk about it. Okay, notice here. When we talk about online learning, we are going to talk about these terms, but let's start talking about the definition. Teaching and learning done mainly at a distance. Remember, when we talked about e-learning, we are talking about learning that it's done at a distance, usually by a personal computer and the internet. This is what Ruth says, no? We use some electronic devices such as computer, and we use computer, we use the internet, the hardware and the software. So e-learning refers to learning that takes place using technology, as you told me, such as the internet, CD-ROMs, some portable devices like mobile phones or MP3 players. So in general, notice in general, this is e-learning. When you learn through distances, you don't need to be close to the teacher, close to your partner, no. You use technology, you use a computer, you use the internet, you use other devices, no, electronic devices, as Ruth says, in order to teach and learn. And we have four different kinds of e-learning: distance learning, open learning, online learning, as Flor says here in the chat, or write it in the chat, and blended learning. I don't know, you have heard this term nowadays. Nowadays, this term is being used a lot, no? Blended learning. It's a mix, no? Blender, it comes from the word blend, is to mix, no? You use in order to make juices, no? Blender. You use this machine to prepare juices, no? Orange juices, watermelon juices, different kind of juices. So blend is to mix. So we're going to mix in order to learn something. No? Let's start. Approaches to online learning. Here we have two different approaches: synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning refers to instruction and collaboration in real time via the internet. Notice, when we talked about e-learning, is at a distance, but here you have these markers, real time, by using the internet. For example, this is synchronous learning because we are in this platform simulating that we are in a class, simulating that this is in real time, but we are using the internet. So this is synchronous learning. It involves tools such as live chat, as we have in this classroom, the chat of Zoom, audio and video conferencing, the Zoom, data and application sharing. You use your data from your cell phones or mobile phones. And also maybe you have the app. Some of you are using your cell phones and using the app of Zoom. Share whiteboard. This is what I'm doing now. I'm sharing my board, my screen. Virtual hand raising. So you have the opportunity to raise your hand. Zoom has this icon that you can raise your hand. Joint viewing of multimedia presentation and online slideshows. This is what I'm doing. So you are watching, you're watching my presentation, my slideshow. So this is involved in the synchronous learning. So it's simulating, notice, it's simulating real time instruction and collaboration in real time, but we are using the internet. What about the other? Synchronous learning. File attachments, news groups and bulletin boards, threaded discussions, email. It typically involves tools such as just the time delay capabilities of the internet. Asynchronous courses are still instructor facilitated, but are not conducted in real time. Notice it's not real time because you are going to do it not using these video conference tools. It's not necessary. That's why here says the file attachment. So when I maybe give you a homework and you need to download a file in order to complete some tasks, or maybe the news groups or forums, no, news groups is similar to forums and bulletin boards, discussions, or email, when I send you messages through the email, or using, no, we use the platforms too, no? And also these kind of courses, asynchronous courses, are still instructor facilitated, but they are not conducted in real time. No? Maybe when you have these kind of courses that I've told you before, no, the famous MOOCs. MOOCs are courses that are not necessary to be in front of a teacher or maybe on a screen with a teacher. No. So maybe you can watch videos and develop some exercises without the teacher here. As me, no, it's not necessary. So this is an asynchronous learning. So we have these two, synchronous and asynchronous learning. Now, let's define the terms related to e-learning. Distance learning and open learning. Let's see what they mean. Distance learning. This term originally applied to traditional paper-based distance courses delivered by mail. Notice, distance or e-learning are often used as an umbrella names for the terms below. No, this is the general term, no? Distance learning, but the term first apply to traditional, notice, traditional paper-based distance course, no? Maybe you have a course and they give you materials, printed materials, you have to read the materials, and then you have to complete a test or develop a test. Distance learning, in the past, no? In the past. Now, distance learning, because we are not close, right? The teacher and the students are not close. We're using platforms, video conference platforms, in order to have the class. So it's also called distance learning, all right? But it changed. You notice it changed, no? The context has been changed. In the past, it wasn't necessary the presence of a teacher. Just you received a course book, no? The course book, not printed. That's why here says paper-based, all right? You have some time to read the material, and then you have to take a test, no more. Notice it was distance learning in the past. Nowadays, distance learning covers two different kind of environments, no? Where real-time teachers using a video conference tool, or maybe not, in an asynchronous way, synchronous or asynchronous. So that's why here says as an umbrella, no? This is the umbrella names for the terms below. Let's pass to the second term, open learning. Open learning refers to how much independence the learner has. The learner has in deciding what course content to cover, how to do so, and when. Nowadays, we have the opportunity to have these kind of courses, no? So you maybe enter to a course and you have the opportunity to choose what parts of the course you're gonna take, when you're gonna take, no, maybe in the afternoons and night or in the morning, and then you change it to another shift. And also you have a lot of time to complete the course. So we call this open learning, all right? That's why the name of these famous online courses of English, no? Have you heard it? Open English. It comes from this word, no? Open English, because they are going to teach English in an open way. So the student is going to choose, is going to decide what to do, when to do it, how to do it. So that's why here they use this kind of term, no? Open English, because it's similar to this kind of courses, no? Open learning. So you decide, no, the speed, the frequency of your classes. Let's pass to the other two terms. The online learning and blended learning. Online learning, this is learning which takes place via the internet, online. As such, online learning is a phase of e-learning. No? It's a facet of e-learning, sorry. So it's another way of e-learning, no? The online learning, as Flores wrote it in the chat. And the last one, blended learning. This is a mixture, as I told you, blend. No, it comes from the word blend. Blend means mix, combine. No, that's the machine, no, blender. So it's a mixture of online and face-to-face course delivery. So you mix, no, synchronous and asynchronous, face-to-face and sometimes not face-to-face. So it's a combination. It's a combination. For example, learners might meet once a week with a teacher face-to-face for an hour and do a further 2 hours work weekly online. For example, we have a kind of a blended learning, no? Because we meet once a week, we have a session, no? You have some material to read it, no? Or some tests to complete, no? Online. All right, so you can watch some videos too, and notice this is blended. But here we have face-to-face, but in a virtual environment. It's not face-to-face in real situation. No? We are simulating. No, we are simulating this face-to-face situation. All right, but we are having this kind of sessions. No? So this is called blended learning. All right, let's continue talking about teaching and learning online. Here we have some examples. Learners in a self-study center or at home use a CD-ROM or an LMS which provides them with extra practice of what they have done in class. LMS, remember, LMS is Learning Management System. All right? Learning management system, the platforms, no, as Moodle, Edmodo, Google Classroom, and also the platform that you have in this course, no, when you have the opportunity to download the materials, links to watch some videos, and also to complete some tests. This is called an LMS. Remember, LMS, Learning Management System. So in this kind of context, learners, they can study, no, in this center or at home. They can study using a CD-ROM or a LMS. And in this, using the CD-ROM or the LMS, they have extra practice of what they have done in class. During class, learners are taken to a computer room and do exercises on a language website on the internet in pairs. Notice this is another situation, no? The learners use a computer room or computer lab and do exercises on a language website on the internet in pairs. For example, I use this kind of a strategy in my school. Well, my school, I have the opportunity to have a computer lab. So I took my students to this lab in order to develop some listening exercises, no? Because they could hear with the headphones and so on, no? And also they have the platform, no? Because it's a private school, so I have a book and they have the opportunity to have a platform, no? This book has the LMS too, all right? So from the book, just from the book, all right? They have to do some exercises on the computer, no? I have the opportunity to do that, no? Learners use an IC tool such as blogs, wikis, chat, or podcasts for project work, either inside or outside the classroom. So this is another situation. So here, students use different tools related to technology and communication. Blogs, the famous blogs. Remember, blog is like a web page. Then we're going to say this term, but in order to understand better, maybe you haven't heard it or maybe you cannot remember well. Blog is like a web page, but it's a personal web page. And you can upload some information about you or some information about different topics. And the person who entered to your blog can comment or maybe not, just read. It depends on the configuration or setting that you provide to this blog. Also, if you allow them to upload some material too, they can do it, or download material, they can do it. So it's a blog. Remember, wikis is a platform, it's a web page too. It's like a web page. The famous one, I don't know if you have heard about it. The famous one is the Wikipedia. Have you ever used Wikipedia?
Yep.
Yes.
What is Wikipedia? What can you see there, or what can you do there in Wikipedia? This is the famous wiki. Wikipedia. So it's a combination. Wiki and encyclopedia. So here you can find a lot of information, but not just look at it and read it and print it. You can also change it. I don't know if you have seen this tool in Wikipedia. You can change that information. You see that it's wrong, it's not good, it's not correct. So you can change it. That's why here in some parts of the text says edit, 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 edit. So a wiki is like this, where people can send information, can upload information, and other people analyze it, maybe criticize it and change it or transform it. This is a wiki. Yeah, remember, yeah, wiki. And the famous one is Wikipedia. All right, Wikipedia. So it's very important when you take some information from Wikipedia, read it, please. All right, because this information, the information that you can find here are uploaded by a lot of people. Maybe some people are not so maybe adequate, but they put it. Maybe they found some information on all the web pages and put it on the Wikipedia. So when you use Wikipedia, be careful. Be careful, because there are some information maybe that are not correct or it's not good. So, and you have the opportunity to change it. All right, you have the opportunity to change it. Okay, let's continue. So notice here. So students, learners use different tools, blogs, wikis, chats, podcasts for project work, because they can collaborate, using blogs. As I told you, they have the opportunity to check the material and then criticize it, comment it, or change it to upload some information to. Wikis is similar. A chat, so you receive messages and comment about it. Podcast is related to some recording, voice recordings. No, this is a podcast, all right? And also people have the opportunity to comment to this kind of podcasts. So you could use it for project works. Another one, the teacher uses a blog, again, to provide learners with online links for reading and listening, homework assignments, and summaries of classwork for learners who miss class, like a platform, no? So the teacher here uses a blog. Nowadays, we have different web pages, different tools to create blog. For example, if you have a Gmail account, you have the opportunity to create a blog and also a website. No? Google have a lot of tools. Google has a lot of tools. You can create a blog, you can create a website. For example, if you, I don't know, you have seen in the tools that Google has, when you enter to your Gmail, you have Blogger and Google Sites. I don't know if you have used them. Don't worry, because then we are going to see it. Blogger is to create blogs easily. It's so easy to create blogs. And Google Sites is to create your own website, no? But remember, no, it's not similar when you pay for it, no? Yeah, because when you pay to create a website, so you have a lot of things to do there, no? It's a simple one, maybe to upload some information and exchange information with other people, all right? So you can do that, and you can do that with Google. Google has a lot of tools, a lot of tools. The classroom is equipped with an interactive whiteboard, which is regularly used in class. No, so here this is another kind of tool. No, but I think it's too expensive. No, too expensive using interactive whiteboards. I don't know if you have seen it before, that you use your hands and some electronic markers to write, no, to change. So you use your hand, just your hands, and that's it. For example, I remember that I used a whiteboard, an interactive whiteboard, but not a real one. It was a similar because it project. We use a projector, and the wall was painted with a different kind of the color. I think the matisse is different, and you project here, and you can write with a special marker. You don't need to use markers or chalks, no. With this special marker, and you write on the board, you click on something. Well, it was good. It was a good experience. It was a good experience. But then I checked the prices. Well, no, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Learners meet face-to-face only once a month and do classwork using email, chat, phone, and share activities on the internet. Well, we have this kind of environment, no? This is a hyper test. All right. Yeah. So this is in the blogs, no, website. So notice here. Well, nowadays we're using this, no, with our students. The 2 years before, so we use this the chat, no, from different regions of our countries. Teachers just communicate with the students using the chat, no, the WhatsApp, because they don't have maybe the technology, the equipment to develop classes online. So they just use the WhatsApp or the chat, no. Here they may use the email or the phone, no? Share activities on the internet. Now, let's pass to some concepts in ICT, all right? Understanding the basic concepts in ICT. Technology, you know what is it? It's a mix of process and product used in the application of knowledge, tools from pencil and paper to the latest electronic gadgets. No, that's what I told you. When we teach, when we talked about technology, it doesn't mean that we are talking about this present years. No, we use technology from the past too. Notice, from using a pencil or paper or whiteboard or blackboard. So we are using technology, radio recorders, tape recorders. So we were using technology in the past. And nowadays, well, we have this latest electronic gadgets, no? Nowadays, for example, a mobile phone is used like a computer, no? For example, my mobile phone is like my computer, because here on my mobile phone, I download books, I read books, I check homework, I do some exercises, I have applications to practice. So the mobile phone is a computer. It's a computer. Educational technology. Use of technology in and learning. No, non-digital. Here we have the non-digital, flip chart, pictures, models, realia, and digital electronic tools, hardware, software, and connections. So we call this educational technology. All the different, all the different things, digital or not digital, devices, digital or not digital, that we use it in class. Digital literacy. What does it mean, literacy? Can anyone tell me what it means? Literacy. Digital literacy. For example, I remember that 2 days ago, I gave a speech in my school because in my school we have some meetings, and principal told me to talk about something related to technology, you know. And then I remember that I take a course on this about this term, this topic, that is the competence, digital competences, and digital or transmedia competences. I don't know if you have heard about them. And it's related to digital literacy. You know, there was project, no, it was related to a project. It was taken by Carlos Escolari, who was a teacher from Spain, and it was developed around the world, in a lot of countries around the world, not just in Europe, in America, South America, North America, Asia. And this group of investigators talked about this term literacy, but digital literacy or transmedia literacy. Remember, the literacy is related to the person who is able, no, to read and speak, or to read and write. Sorry, notice we involve speaking to. Yeah, read and write fluently. This is a literary person. If you don't read or write fluently, you are an illiterate person. All right, but nowadays we are calling this term related to digital, to competences, abilities, skills, in order to develop to the field of ICT, right? And it's involved this kind of literacy, digital literacy. So digital literacy is the ability to find, evaluate, utilize, share, and create contents using information technologies and internet. So nowadays, teachers and students must have this kind of skills. They must have the ability to find, to evaluate, to use, to share, to create contents. And this is related to transmedia competencies. All right, I'd advise you to find this. I'm going to give you maybe later the link, because it has a web page. Yeah, it has a web page that you can find a lot of material, how to use ICT in class. How the project is related to 2 questions. It was related to, it was a research project. It was related to 2 questions principally, and there was a third one. But the 2 questions were how our students, specifically teenagers, use the media in their lives, and specifically when they learn something. How are they learning nowadays? What strategies are our students using to learn? And the third question is, how can we use these strategies from our students in our class? So it was a very interesting, I'm going to give you here right now the link, and you can check it then. I'm going to put it here in the chat, and you have a lot of material, ideas, and also you can upload your own worksheets, because here you're going to find some lesson plans and worksheets to use the transmedia skills. This group of researchers and investigators call this the transmedia skills related to digital competences or digital literacy. Now, I'm going to give you, just give me a second. Just give me a second. And then we're going to talk about this, but related to teachers, no? But this is related to students. Yeah, give me a second. And also you have the opportunity to download books. So you have 2 books. The first book, it was, I think it has 190 pages. It's the complete book about the complete project. Also the beginning, how they start searching information. Then what they do, what they did, with the students, interview, test, the results, and then you have a lot of information about the skills. Oh, give me a second. Where is it? Where is it? Just give me a second. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, notice I'm going to share it and then I'm going to show you here the, yeah, this is related to digital literacy. All right. Yeah. Can you see it? Yes. Tell me.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay. Notice this is the web page from this project. No, notice here as well. You can find it in English and Spanish. So you have these two languages. Here you have the opportunity to choose the language. You change it here, and now you have it in English. All right, home, transmedia, skills, math, learning, cards, videos, and bookmark. And now you can put it in Spanish too. All right. So as you can see here in Spanish es aprovechando las competencias transmedias en el aula, que está relacionado a lo que el término que hemos visto hace un momento, el digital literacy, que es el alfabetismo digital. Aquí en este proyecto habla sobre eso, sobre el alfabetismo digital o el alfabetismo transmedia, que es el uso de los medios de información, por eso se llama ICT, es Information Communication Technology, las famosas TICs, cómo están utilizando los alumnos y cómo podemos aprovechar nosotros esas competencias transmedias en el aula. Aquí tienen, y aquí tienen las competencias. Vamos a poner en inglés para que podamos verlo acá. Yeah, here it is. Notice. What are the teens doing with media? This is called transmedia literacy, or some of them call it digital literacy. All right. So here we have production. There's a nice. Oh, the microphones, please. The microphones. Don't forget to turn off your microphones. So we have here this. I'm gonna change the design because I think it's too small. Yeah, here it's better. So the transmedia skills are divided in 9 dimensions. And the second, remember, this is related to the 2 questions that I told you. What are teens doing with media? And the other one, the strategies, the informal learning strategies, how are they learning? How our students are learning nowadays. Nowadays, our students find information everywhere, not just in a school. All right. They use the modify, they find information using social networks, specifically using some videos on YouTube, using different platforms. So nowadays they are learning first informally and then formally. So when they go to the school, so they have another environment. They are used to have this kind of environment virtually, using platforms, using videos, tutorials, and so on. And when they arrive to school, they are going to listen to the teacher. So notice, that's why we as teachers, we need to adapt the classroom into this virtual environment, technological environment. So here you have this 9 dimensions when we talked about transmedia digital skills. Production, notice, create, modify, notice, create, modify, use, code, all are related to create, use, modify, code. This is in the production. The risk prevention, recognize, describe, evaluate, reflect, take action, and to apply. The performance, play video games, notice they use it a lot, break the rules, act. Social management, participate in social media, teach, collaborate, coordinate, and lead. Individual management, self-manage, manage the own identity, manage own feelings and emotions. Content management, search, select, and download, manage content archives, manage content dissemination and sharing. Media and technology, recognize, describe, compare, evaluate, reflect. And also you click on one of this and you have some information about it. Okay, notice. Recognize and describe media and technology. This is the dimension to recognize and describe the structures and organization of media companies and industries. To know how media lobbies work, for example. No? To recognize and describe the technical features of social media, to recognize and describe the software, hardware, games, and app features. So here you have a lot of information. And as I told you, also you have the opportunity to download books. Now, I'm going to give you the link. Yeah, I'm going to give you the link here in the chat. Yeah, can you see it? Yes? Yes, tell me.
Yes.
Can you see it in the chat? Yeah, all right.
Yes.
So this is the project. As I told you, it's a project. No? Transmedia Literacy, exploring transmedia skills and informal learning strategies to improve formal education. Notice, from informal to formal. And also you have here the explanation, no? And so on. It was taken to students from 12 to 18 years old in different countries. No? It was done in different countries. Just give me a second. This is a methodology. They use an ethnographic approach. So you have here a lot of field work strategy. And here, this is what I told you. Here you have, this is the teacher's kit. Here you have the books. Notice, this is the complete book. The blue one is the complete one, right? And the white is like a summary. You have in English and Spanish. So I advise you to read it in English, all right? Try to read it in English so you can practice the language too, all right? And the book, you have the worksheets. And also here you have the worksheets here. And notice that it's not just for English. You have a lot of areas. You have this, competences, transmedia competences. And we're going to put it here in English. Just give me a second. Yeah. You have the learning areas, arts, foreign languages, language, mathematics, physical education, religion, science, social science, technologies. You have also to look for different ages from 10 to 13 to 14 to 16. Any language, not just English, you have Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Finnish. And you click here, for example, foreign languages. And you're gonna find, you click here on the Google. And you have, notice, you have here worksheets, lesson plans, in order to use these skills, the transmedia skills or digital skills. All right, so don't forget it. Yeah, check it up. I'd advise you to use this webpage to give you ideas. Remember, to give you ideas in order to exploit transmedia skills in the classroom. All right, okay, let's go back to the slides. Now we were diverting from the topic, but it's related to this. Remember, digital literacy is the ability to find, evaluate, use, utilize, share, and create contents using information technologies and internet. Now, let's continue with the other one. Yeah. Digital learning. Any type of learning that is accompanied by technology or by instructional practice that makes effective use of technology. Application of a wide spectrum of practices, which included blended or virtual learning. This is called digital learning. Software. I think you hear about this term, no? Software. Software, remember, software is related to the programs, no program control instructions and accompanying documentation stored on these or tapes when not being used in the computer. No, this is the software. Multimedia, a sequential or simultaneous use of a variety of media formats in a given presentation or self-study program. All right. So notice that this is related to, we were talking about in the web page, no? Media, transmedia, all right? The different kinds of media that you could use it to study or to learn or to teach. The internet. The internet, it connects millions of computers together globally, forming a network. No, internet is a blended word too. Yes, is international network. Remember, internet is international network in which any computer can communicate with any other computer. No, this is a network. It's computers which are connected to each other. World Wide Web. Sometimes we think that internet is similar to say to World Wide Web, but it's not the same. A graphical environment on computer networks, so it means on internet, that allows you to access, view, and maintain documentations that can include text, data, sound, and videos. Remember, internet is just a connection. But in order to view and notice to access or maintain these documentations, data, text, sound, and videos, we use the World Wide Web. Yeah, don't get confused. These are two different terms, but at the same time, they are connected. All right. Internet is the system, the network. World Wide Web is the environment that allows you, to view, to access to the information that you have on the computers, everywhere, all right? Everywhere. This is the World Wide Web. Remember, this is the World Wide Web. Webquest. What is a Webquest? A Webquest is an inquiry-oriented lesson format in which most or all information that learners work with comes from the web. So maybe you ask a question and your students are going to find some information about this question and share it and also comment it. Now this is it's called a Webquest. You can create it using various programs, including simple word processing documents that include links to websites. Now you give to your students a document on Word, and in this document you have the opportunity to give to your students different links to find information about a question that you gave them. So it's not necessary to use programs. There are some platforms that you can create Webquest to online. You can do it online, but here you have the idea to do it on a paper, on a document. Maybe you can give it on a file, or maybe you can print it. A blog. What is a blog? An online journal where posted information from both teachers and students are arranged. Now remember, a blog is like a web page. It's like a web page. Most of the time, a blog is when you upload your personal information, or maybe you give some information about any topic, and other people can watch, can comment, can analyze it, and also can download some information or files. And maybe these people have the opportunity to upload also some information to or files. It depends, as I told you, on the settings or configuration of the blog. So here we're talking about teaching and learning. So that's why here says, where you post information, the teacher and the student post information in this blog. Wiki. What is a wiki? It's an editable website. Notice editable, editable website, usually with limited access, allows the students to collaboratively create and post written work or digital files, such as digital photos or videos. So they can edit it. They can edit, all right? But not completely, Here it says with limited access. But they can use it to collaborate, to create and post written work or digital files. This is called a wiki. Podcast. An online, oh yeah, I think it's not correct. I think it's repeated from the previous one. Yeah. Yeah, but I told you a podcast is a recording. When you record a speech, some comments on some topics or lectures. Nowadays it's very common that teachers around the world create podcasts. They teach students using podcasts. I remember on the Spotify. I don't know if you have heard of Spotify. This is a platform where you can download, listen music to music, and also you can find here podcasts from different kind of people, teachers, musicians, artists, And when you find a podcast from teachers, most of the time they record lessons using their voices. This is a podcast, And remember, when you record your voices and you share it, all right, and you share it, this is called a podcast. Nowadays, we have a lot of platforms to create podcasts. One of the most common is Vocaroo. I don't know if you have heard about it. For example, I use this Vocaroo to make my students record their voices and send it, simulating that they are creating a podcast. All right. Now, let's pass to this other term, the Ict Core Competencies. Now, this is related also to the competencies that I show you on the webpage, but here we're going to talk about more specifically related to teachers. And obviously, it's connected with our students too, We need some technical competencies, networking and communication competencies, searching competencies, evaluating competencies, creating competencies, and teaching competencies. Let's start talking about the technical competencies. Again, we have the term of literacy, basic computer literacy. What does it mean? That you need to know how to use your computer or laptop or mobile phone. Here is more related to computers, Your PC or your laptop, How to use it, Related to know how to hardware and software, basic, because we're not going to be technicians. All right, we're not technicians and we are not computer teachers. No, but as a teacher, a language teacher, we need to have some basic computer literacy, how your computer works, how to maybe to know the parts of the computer, basic parts of the computers, the input and output devices and how to use them. Browser. Browser is the tool that you use to look up for information. You look for information. The browser. Here you have, for example, the Internet Explorer or Google, Yahoo, Opera, Brave. Nowadays I've heard about this new browser that is search browser that is Brave. So you need to know that. How to use browsers. All right. How to use the browsers. Another one is word processing. How to use the word processing programs of software. The most common is Word. how to use Word, PowerPoint, multimedia software. Multimedia software is referring to some software that you could use to record your voice, or maybe create some videos, or capture your screen. No, these kind of tools, we need to know that. For example, in the software, we have, for example, in order to capture images, I use this software, but it's online software that is called the Light Shot. So with the Light Shot, I can capture instantly the screen. I can cut it, I can write it, I can draw it, and I can save it as a file. Then I insert it to my slides, or maybe to the Word. Online also, you have the opportunity to record your screen. For example, the most common is Scriptomatic. I don't know if you have heard about it. You can record a short video explaining something. For example, I use this tool when I have some workshops at school, and I help my partners, my colleagues know how to use some tools. So I record Scriptomatic at the moment, and I send it. You can upload it to YouTube, or maybe you can save it onto your computer. So we have different tools, different tools. Web page building. This is what I told you. In order to create your web page, and I gave you, Google Sites. If you have a Google account, you have the opportunity to create your own website, your own web page. You don't need to know a lot of, for example, in the past, I remember when I wanted to create a web page, I need a software. And I was learning. It was, well, let me see. For 30 years, almost 10, 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, I wanted to create a web page, but we didn't have these tools of Google, online web pages that you can create it. So you need a software, and you need to know a special language. That's what Lucy talked about, the hypertext language. So we need to know what this is called, the HTML. This is the hypertext language. So, but now you don't need to know the hypertext language, because nowadays you have softwares, or you have programs or online tools that you just press or click here and you can create it. No more. So you don't need to know some language. In the past, I need to know some language, to change something and so on. But now, no, it's not necessary. So this is related to technical. Notice technical. Remember, we need to have basic knowledge of our computer or laptop, the hardware, the software, the browser, the tools related to how to present tests or slides or multimedia, and also to create or build a web page. This is called the technical competence, and we need to have this technical competence. Let's pass to the second one, networking and communication competence. Communication tools, synchronous communication, chats, the MSN, video conferencing, that we are using here now, Asynchronous communication, email exchange, forums, mailing lists, blog. So we need to know how to use these tools, to communicate. This is also related to network, because we're going to connect to other people, that's why here says network communication, all right, because we're going to connect with other people from around the world, maybe, or with your zero from different regions from the country, in a synchronous or asynchronous way. Searching. Notice here how to search on the web. Oh, sorry. There are some tricks, some strategies, some techniques that we could use to make an effective search on the internet, specifically, well, nowadays we use a lot of Google, no, Chrome, but we have other, no, Internet Explorer, Opera, Brave, so we have more browsers, search browsers. But here you have some techniques, for example, maybe you have used some of them before. Using quotation marks. Use quotes to search for an exact word or set of words. This is useful for searching quotes or song lyrics. For example, here, be a unicorn in a sea of donkeys. Maybe you want to give to your student the opportunity to practice a song. You remember the song, but you don't remember the title. Oh, what was the name of the song? Oh no, I can't remember. So you can write parts of the song, but you use quotation marks and you can find it. No, this is a technique to have your more effective way of searching. Dashes, you could use dashes. Put a dash before a word that you want to exclude. Notice in your search, when you write, for example, a phrase, maybe internet, no, the Google search every word, but maybe it's not necessary every word, because if Google search for every word, so you're gonna find pages that you don't want it. So you could use a dash to tell Google, because this is the most that we use, no, to exclude in your search. Notice, donkeys, animal, and that's you're excluding. Another, tile. Use a tile before a term to include results with its synonyms. Notice, example, unicorn, tile, magical. Site, using the word site. Use site, semicolon, to search within a specific website. Example, site, mobilemonkey.com. So it means that you want to find just that site, a website, not any other kind of information, just a website. Another, link, link and query. Use link to search for sites that link to the specific site URL. This is a web address. Example, link, semicolon, mobilemonkey.com. Two periods. Use two periods between two numbers to express range of things like date, measurements, and prices. Examples, movies, 1950, two periods, 1970. It means that you want to find movies from the 50s to the 70s. Another one, rel or related query, use related semicolon to find signs that are similar to the specified site. Related semicolon mobilemonkey.com. So it means that you want to find not just a web page, other similar web pages to this one. And we have more. Oh, we have more. For example, I use the plus symbol. The plus symbol means that we connect the two words. I'm telling to Google that I need information about these two words. No, for example, if I want to download some books on PDF, so I write multiple intelligence plus PDF. So Google just look for documents on PDF, no more. All right. So notice, this is a more effective way to look up for information on the internet, no? And this is another skill. Also here you have some websites for teachers, effective internet search, you know, searching the internet, recommended search techniques, effective internet searching techniques. So here you have some of them, no? You can use it. And to finish, next class, we're going to complete the other two. Yeah, don't worry, because next class, next session, I'm going to reinforce this, yeah? Because we're doing it so fast. Evaluating accuracy, authority, currency, navigation, design, URL. So it means that you need to evaluate. You need to evaluate how accurate, how current, if you navigate well or not, the design, and the URL is the address, related to the address. All right. So this is that you're going to evaluate the tools that you're going to use on the web. All right. So, well, I think the time is going on. So yeah, we're going to stop here in order not to do this thing so fast. So next session, we are going to reinforce this, and then we're going to finish with the other two competences related to ICT. Yeah? And next class also, we're going to start talking about different platforms that we could use in virtual learning or e-learning. All right. Well, that's all for today. I hope you can find a lot of information here related to the ICT, and you could use it, or maybe to have more specific information related to this term that nowadays is so common, no? The ICT, or the TICs, no, that we call in Spanish. Okay, well, that's all for today. See you next class. See you next Saturday. Take care a lot. Bye-bye. Thanks for your participation and collaboration.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. See you next class. Bye-bye.
Good night, teacher. Bye-bye.